She will never say this out loud, but the moment you understand it, everything about women will start making sense. And once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it again. I'm going to tell you something most men spend their entire lives misunderstanding. Not because they're stupid, not because they're weak, but because women are trained socially, emotionally, culturally not to say what they truly want in direct language. And that silence is costing you attraction, respect, and emotional leverage. As a psychologist who has spent years listening to women speak freely behind closed doors, I can tell you something that might sting a little. What she says she wants, and what actually makes her feel deeply attracted, are not always the same thing. She'll say she wants a nice guy. She'll say she wants someone emotionally available. She'll say she wants communication. And yes, she does want those things, but not the way most men deliver them. What she really wants, what she will never phrase this way, is to feel emotionally safe and emotionally stimulated at the same time. Most men choose one. Very few embody both. Emotional safety means she feels protected, not just physically, but psychologically. She feels like you are steady, grounded, unshaken by her moods, unintimidated by her strength, not threatened by her independence. But emotional stimulation? That's different. That's the feeling she gets when she doesn't fully control you. When she senses you have a world, a mission, a backbone that doesn't bend just because she's upset or distant. It's the subtle tension of knowing you desire her, but you don't need her to survive. Here's where most men fail. They become overly agreeable in the name of being kind. They over-explain themselves in the name of communication. They overgive in the name of proving value. And slowly, attraction evaporates. Because when a woman feels she has full emotional control over you, something inside her relaxes too much. Not into love, into comfort. And comfort without polarity becomes friendship. She won't tell you this. Not because she's manipulative, but because it's not conscious, it's instinctive. Her attraction system isn't built purely on logic. It's built on emotional response. If she feels like she has to carry the emotional weight of the relationship, if she feels you crumble when she pulls away, she will lose desire even if she still cares about you. What she really wants is a man who can hold tension without breaking. When she's distant, he doesn't panic. When she's emotional, he doesn't withdraw. When she tests boundaries, he doesn't overreact. And yes, she will test you. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she needs to feel your emotional structure. She needs to know that if the world gets chaotic, you don't. Think about it this way. A woman doesn't fall deeply for the man who chases her the hardest. She falls for the man whose presence feels solid enough to lean into. Strength without cruelty, kindness without weakness, desire without desperation. And here's the painful truth. Many men are taught to suppress dominance completely because they confuse it with aggression. But healthy dominance isn't about control, it's about direction. It's about leading your own life so confidently that she feels invited, not responsible, for your happiness. When you make her the center of your emotional universe too quickly, you remove the very mystery and polarity that attraction feeds on. She wants to be chosen, not worshipped. She wants to feel special, not like your only source of validation. If you've ever felt like you did everything right and she still pulled away, this is why. Because she wasn't looking for perfection. She was looking for emotional stability wrapped in quiet strength. And most men never realize that the moment they start trying too hard to keep her, they begin losing her. Let that sink in. There's another truth she will never say directly, because if she did, it would sound unfair. She is not attracted to your potential. She is attracted to your present reality. Men fall in love with a woman's potential all the time. They see who she could become. They imagine the future. They invest emotionally in the possibility. Women, however, feel attraction based on what they experience right now. Your habits, your posture, your emotional control, your ambition in motion, not your plans, not your promises, not your "I'm working on it." Right now. This is why so many men get confused. You tell her about your dreams, you explain your goals, you open up about your struggles, you think vulnerability alone will deepen the bond. But vulnerability without visible progress feels heavy to her. She doesn't want to mother you into your greatness. She wants to witness you already walking toward it. That doesn't mean you have to be rich or famous or flawless. It means she needs to feel that your life has direction that exists independently of her approval. When a woman senses that your entire emotional state rises and falls based on her attention, she unconsciously feels pressure, and pressure kills desire. She wants to feel wanted, but she does not want to feel responsible for your self-worth. This is the difference most men miss. She'll say she wants emotional closeness. But if your closeness turns into dependency, her body will react before her mind does. Attraction fades quietly. Respect erodes slowly. And she won't always know why. Because what she truly wants is this: a man whose emotional center is inside himself. A man who can enjoy her deeply, without orbiting her. Let me tell you something that might sting. When she pulls away, it's often not because you didn't give enough. It's because you gave too much in the wrong way. You overtexted when she needed space. You reassured when she wanted mystery. You explained when silence would have shown confidence. Women are highly sensitive to emotional energy shifts. If she senses fear of losing her in your tone, your timing, your reactions, something inside her relaxes in the wrong direction. She stops chasing. She starts evaluating. And once a woman switches from emotional immersion to quiet evaluation, the dynamic changes. What she secretly wants is to feel like she is earning access to you too. Not in a toxic way, not through games, but through mutual investment. If you're always available, always adjusting, always accommodating, she never feels the subtle tension that keeps attraction alive. Healthy attraction contains a small amount of uncertainty. Not insecurity, uncertainty. The feeling that you are stable, but not fully predictable, warm, but not clingy, present, but not consuming. And here's something women discuss privately far more than men realize. They are deeply attracted to men who are calm under emotional pressure. If she brings up a concern and you instantly become defensive, she feels unsafe. If she becomes moody and you become reactive, she feels unstable. But if she sees you stay grounded, listening without collapsing, responding without over-explaining, she feels held. That feeling is powerful. Because in a world where emotions are constantly amplified online, dramatized in media, and overstimulated through comparison, emotional steadiness is rare. And rare is attractive. She doesn't want perfection. She wants composure. She wants to feel like your confidence is not something she can easily shake. And when she senses that you are secure with or without her, something fascinating happens. She leans in closer, not because you pushed her, but because your stability gives her something to attach to. That is the part she will never spell out for you. But once you understand it, you stop trying to impress her, and you start embodying something far more powerful. Now, I'm going to tell you something that most men are not emotionally prepared to hear. She does not fall in love with you because you treat her well. She falls in love with how she feels about herself when she's with you. Let that settle. You can open doors, pay for dinners, send thoughtful messages, be loyal, be consistent, be kind, and still, she may not feel that deep pull toward you, because attraction is not a reward system. It is an emotional response system. If being around you makes her feel admired but not challenged, safe but not inspired, wanted but not elevated, something crucial is missing. What she truly wants is to feel expanded in your presence. She wants to feel feminine without feeling small, desired without feeling objectified, supported without feeling controlled. And here's the part that's hard for many men to accept. Women are deeply drawn to men who have standards, not demands. Standards. There's a difference. Demands come from insecurity. They sound like control. Standards come from self-respect. They feel like clarity. When you have standards, you communicate without aggression that your time, your energy, and your commitment are valuable. And when she senses that you would walk away from disrespect, something inside her adjusts. Because most men threaten to leave. Very few actually mean it. A woman is highly intuitive about emotional leverage. If she feels that you will tolerate anything just to keep her, she unconsciously relaxes her effort. But when she knows that your attention is earned through mutual respect, attraction deepens. This doesn't mean playing games, it means living as a man who has boundaries. For example, if she cancels plans repeatedly and you laugh it off every time, you teach her that your time is flexible. If she speaks to you with subtle disrespect and you brush it aside because you don't want conflict, you teach her that your self-worth is negotiable. She doesn't consciously think, I want a man to correct me. That's not how it works. She feels the shift in energy when a man calmly says, "That doesn't work for me." Calm, not angry, not bitter, not reactive. Calm is power. And here's another truth she won't say out loud. She wants to look up to you. Not in a superiority sense, but in admiration. She wants to feel proud introducing you to her friends. She wants to feel secure in your decisions. She wants to trust your judgment. If she constantly feels more decisive, more driven, more emotionally stable than you, attraction slowly erodes because polarity disappears. This is not about control. It's about energetic balance. Masculine energy at its healthiest is direction, groundedness, decisiveness. Feminine energy at its healthiest is fluid, expressive, intuitive. When you abandon your direction in order to please her, she doesn't feel closer. She feels unsettled because now she has to lead. And most women don't want to lead the emotional structure of the relationship. They want partnership, but they crave grounded leadership. That leadership shows up in subtle ways. You plan the date confidently. You make decisions without over-seeking approval. You express desire without hesitation. And when conflict happens, you don't explode or disappear. You stay. You address it. You resolve it. This is the kind of emotional masculinity that women rarely describe accurately because it's felt more than articulated. She might tell her friends, "I just feel safe with him." But what she means is this: he doesn't crumble under pressure. He doesn't beg for validation. He doesn't compete with my emotions. He steadies them. That steadiness is magnetic. And the moment you realize that attraction grows from how you carry yourself, not how much you convince her, you stop chasing reactions. You start becoming the environment she wants to be in. And environments shape emotions far more powerfully than words ever will. Now I'm going to tell you the quiet truth that ties everything together. She wants to feel chosen. But she also wants to feel free. Most men swing too far to one side. They either become possessive and controlling in the name of commitment, or they become passive and overly accommodating in the name of being easygoing. Neither creates lasting attraction. What she truly wants is a man who chooses her deliberately, not desperately. There is a difference. Desperation says, "I can't lose you." Deliberate choice says, "I value you and I also value myself." When you fear losing her more than you value your standards, your behavior subtly shifts. Your tone changes, your decisions soften, your boundaries blur, and she feels it, even if she can't explain it. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional shifts in men. Your micro-expressions, your pauses, the way you respond when she takes longer to reply, all of it communicates your internal state. If your emotional world depends on her consistency, she will eventually feel the weight of that dependency. And weight is not attractive. What she wants, and will never openly phrase this way, is to feel like she is with a man who has options, but chooses loyalty. A man who could walk away, but stays because he wants to, not because he has no alternative. That sense of voluntary commitment is intoxicating, because it tells her she is desired, not needed for survival. There is something incredibly powerful about a man who can say calmly and without drama, "I care about you, but I will not tolerate disrespect." That sentence alone separates boys from men. And here's another layer most men overlook. She wants to feel emotionally seen, but not emotionally managed. If she's upset, she doesn't need you to fix her like a problem. She needs you to witness her without being overwhelmed. If she's distant, she doesn't need interrogation. She needs space without punishment. If she's affectionate, she wants you to receive it confidently, not question it, not cling to it, not overanalyze it. Confidence in receiving love is just as important as confidence in giving it. And this is where emotional maturity becomes rare. Many men know how to pursue. Few know how to sustain attraction. Sustaining attraction requires emotional regulation. It means you don't escalate minor issues into major conflicts. It means you don't withdraw affection to manipulate reassurance. It means you don't compete for dominance. You embody stability. A woman relaxes deeply with a man who does not turn every emotional wave into a storm, because what she is truly searching for, beneath the chemistry, beneath the excitement, is emotional security that doesn't feel boring. Security with edge. Comfort with strength, affection with self-control. And when she finds a man who is grounded, purposeful, respectful, and unshaken by temporary tension. Something shifts inside her. She invests, she softens, she commits emotionally, not because you convinced her, but because your presence feels like a safe place to land. So let me ask you something personal. If you removed fear of losing her from your behavior, how differently would you act? Would you speak more directly? Would you set firmer boundaries? Would you stop over-explaining yourself? Be honest with yourself, because the version of you that isn't afraid to lose someone is often the version that keeps them. Now, I want you to answer this in the comments. On a scale from 1 to 10, how emotionally steady are you when a woman pulls back? And what's one behavior you know you need to improve? If this opened your eyes even slightly, like the video. Subscribe if you're ready to build real emotional strength, and share this with a friend who keeps losing good women, not because he's bad, but because no one ever taught him what she'll never say out loud.